Hi, I'm David McGowan. Today's practice will be deeply relaxing. We will start out with a breathing exercise to calm your nervous system. Afterward, we'll do some floor-based stretching with some spinal twists, some very gentle back bends, some really nice hip openers. And at the end of the class, I'll lead you through a guided 15-minute meditation to help you achieve a relaxation response. Today, you don't need any special props aside from a yoga mat, so make sure you have that rolled out, that your feet are bare. And when you're ready, just come to a seated and cross-legged position of some type with both eyes closed. Take the next few moments to settle in. If you need to make any adjustments with your body, adjust whatever needs to be adjusted. And then for the next little while, just let everything get still. Today we'll begin with an old form of the alternate nostril breath. When you're ready, lift your right hand all the way up to your face, and then place the tip of your index and middle finger directly between your eyebrows. Breathe in deeply. Exhale all of your air. Use your thumb to block the right nostril, and inhale left. Ring finger to left, exhale out the right. Block the right side with your thumb, breathe in left. Block your left nostril and exhale out the right. One more time. Breathe in through the left side. Breathe out through the right side. Keep the left side blocked. Breathe in the right. Block the right side and exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale right side. Exhale left. For now, drop your hands and breathe in through both. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe all the way in. Exhale your air. Return to normal breathing. And once again, just pay attention to your breath. Join your hands together in a prayer at your chest. Bring to mind someone you would like to dedicate today's practice to. Send that person some good energy mentally. All right, so today I'll have you start from a reclining position. So when you're ready, just lay down on your back. Once you're reclined, reach both of your arms completely out to your sides so that the relationship between your spine and your arms is a T-like shape. And then for now, lift your hips off the floor just a little. Slide your hips way over to your left-hand side and take them back down to the ground. Once you've done that, draw both knees toward your chest and drop them over and toward your right hand. Now for the next few moments, once you've settled into that, feel free to adjust your arms a little bit if necessary, but try to keep them parallel to the rear of your mat. If your knees are not touching, that's okay. You can let them be a little bit loose. Now if they are touching, that's okay too. Just let yourself sort of settle into whatever posture you've naturally found. For the next few moments as you hang out there, let your shoulders slide down away from your ears toward your belt. And then let your eyes close so you can be better able to focus inside. Scan around everywhere to discover spots that are tense or tight. Once you've sort of framed a general mapping of your body, redirect all of your attention to your breathing patterns. Watch your normal breath at first, and just get really, really heavy. Let gravity pull you deeper into the mat breath by breath. At the same time, let gravity pull some of the tension out of your muscles. At first, a completely normal and natural breath as you just get heavy and relax. Now, a deepening breath can oftentimes help you stretch deeper. So as you continue to hold your posture, breathe through your nose. Let your inhales be very full. Breathe out every last drop of air with your exhales. And then continue. Really deep inhales through your nose. Really slow exhales through your nose. As you carry on, continue on with that. Just feel your body rising and falling on your breath like a jellyfish on an ocean wave. Feel at the same time how your breathing wipes away some of the tension. Now allow yourself to return to normal breathing patterns. If you wish to deepen the twist that you're in, place your right hand on the edge of your legs. Just give your legs a little downward pressure. As your hand gets heavier and heavier and heavier, just find your way to a natural stopping point. Again, relax and just try to get heavy. Sometimes it's helpful to hold your breath out. So at the end of every exhale, just hold your breath out for a little bit of time. Get as heavy as you can every time you hold your breath out. When you inhale and exhale, let those breaths be naturally taken. But over and over, hold your breath out at the end of your exhale. Then releasing your hand from your leg. Use your next inhale to swivel your knees back to the uprights till they face the ceiling. Readjust your hips so they align with the mid-center of your mat. Take a moment to let both hands rest on your heart, right there at the center of your chest. Scan throughout your body and just see if you note any differences between one side and the other. Then the second side, reach both of your arms all the way out. Make sure your palms are facing the ceiling. Lifting your hips off the ground, swing your hips over to the right. Once they've come back down to the floor, draw your knees toward your chest. Slowly, progressively drop them over toward your left hand. Once you've settled into that, take the first few moments to make any fine adjustments. If you need to shift things around, try to do it at the outset. Once your posture feels pretty well placed, again, just settle in. and get heavy like a stone in the middle of a muddy field. It's pretty common to carry lots of tension on one side of the body, to experience a posture in a completely different way on the second side. So just scan throughout your body in this posture. Pay attention to what you feel as you scan, and note what you have to work with on this side. At first, completely normal breaths. Now, the same breath pattern as before. Breathe in deeply through your nostrils. Breathe out deeply through your nostrils. As you continue breathing in, as you continue breathing out with depth, just feel your body expanding and contracting along with your breath. Moves like this, you get a lot of sensation around your spine, but there's also some hidden stretching that's going on in your hip. Return to normal breathing. And if you did so on the previous side, take your left hand to your knees. At first, press them down really gently and slowly. And then let your elbow get heavier and heavier and heavier along with your hand to draw your knees a little further down. As your right knee drops closer to the earth, you'll start to feel quite a lot of stretch in your hip. Nothing so intense as a pigeon pose, but still a very nice opening. Continue to hold and just let every muscle in your body relax. And let gravity help you do the pose. Hold your breath out at the end of every exhale repetitively. And let the inhales and exhales you take in between be normal and shallow. Use your next inhale to sweep your knees back upwards and recenter your hips with the midline of your mat. Let your hands rest on your chest right near your heart again. Scan throughout your whole entire body and just notice what you feel. Now, this practice is primarily passive, so I won't have you hold the next posture for too terribly long, but it is good to do a bridge. So when you're ready, with your legs still bent and your feet on the floor, start walking your feet further and further backward. And then attempt to reach forward, and if you're able to, touch your middle fingers to your heels. Now, if you're not able to reach, that is completely okay. Just get as close to that point as you can. This time, bend your arms to 90 degrees so that your forearms are vertical. Press your elbows down so that your chest lifts a little bit, and then squeeze your shoulder blades closer to your spine. That just gives you a little more support for your neck. Press your elbows down into the earth to activate the space between your shoulder blades. Leading with your knees, slide your knees forward toward the wall at the front of the room that you're in, up there near the front of your mat, and lift your hips off the ground. Now for the next few moments, press your elbows down, keep stretching your knees out and forward toward the front. Pretend that your hips were like a hot air balloon, and just let the balloon of your hips rise higher and higher up. Keep pressing your elbows into the floor as your hips rise up. You'll also get some really good opening in the back of your neck. Really helpful if you have tension there. And then come all the way back down to the floor. Once you've done so, wave your knees from one side to the other side. Sometimes some rocking motion in your lower back can feel really nice after that. When you're ready, let yourself roll over to one side of your body. Which side you choose doesn't really matter. And then use your arms to press all the way back up to a full seated position for now. Now, once you've done so, we'll bend the back from a slightly different angle. Come to a four-pointed kneeling position right near the front of your mat. Slide your legs backwards so you can fully and completely lay down on your stomach. Prop yourself up on your elbows so that you look like a proper sphinx. And to measure the distancing of your arms, grab opposite elbow and opposite hand to take your elbows a little closer. Parallel your forearms if at all possible, though if that's a bit uncomfortable, you can always interlace your hands in the front instead. In fact, that's my preferred way to do it, but everybody's different, so you go with the one that feels the best. Now press your elbows down into the floor, which will elevate your chest a little higher. Very gently pull your elbows back toward your body. For the next few moments, let your shoulders slide down away from your ears toward your belt. And just close your eyes and maintain the height that you found. If you want less, you can always let your chest sink down toward your arms very slightly. If you want more stretch, you can always lift your chest just a bit higher. But just like those previous twists you did a while back, try to let everything be very, very relaxed. Rather than force or attempt to press things deeper, just let your body open of its own accord. Hold the posture that you're in, let everything get really, really soft. And sometimes some amazing opening will come from just that. Normal inhales and exhales for the next few moments as you maintain your overall posture. Now for now, return to really huge breaths. Breathing through your nose, breathe in as deeply as you're able. Exhale out with the same depth. Continue on at your own rate of speed. Deep breaths in. And deep breaths out. By continuously pressing your elbows into the earth, just do your best to maintain your overall height as you keep breathing deeply. If you're able to make your breath any deeper, do so. Squeeze out every drop of air as you exhale. Fill your lungs to the brim with your inhale. If you have any pinching sensation in your lower back, you should not do the next one. If it feels okay for you, though, to take a deeper cobra pose, you can always parallel your forearms, the size of your mat. Then from there, you can lift your elbows up to sort of experiment and maybe possibly extend both arms. And if you get up to the top and you just find out that that's a little bit too much for you, come back to the previous one with elbows down. Lift upwards to your collarbones and chest and keep breathing with depth. Everything soft and relaxed. If your arms get tired, you can definitely take them back down to the floor. Just a little bit of time left. And for the moment, take your elbows all the way back down to the floor. Let your chin rest down there on your hands. Bend your legs and wave your ankles from one side to the other side. Put your hands on your mat. Press all the way back up to your four-pointed kneeling position. Now, some freestyle motion is always great because it helps you explore areas in your body that are specific to you in terms of their tension. So start by rounding your back with an exhale. Follow up by arching your spine in the other direction. And then just get very creative about your motions. Anything goes for this one. You don't even necessarily need to conjoin your moving with your breathing. Just keep breathing with some depth. And explore your body from the inside out with those creative motions that you're taking. If it feels nice, you can stop at a certain place that really feels good and sort of hang out there for a little bit. Once you've got whatever degree of stretch you want to get there, then move around more creatively again as well. All right. We'll get your hips next. So roll all the way over onto your left hip completely. Once you've done that, slide your left leg way over to the side as far as it will go and draw your heel toward your innermost thigh. As you lean over to the side there, that will enable you to slide your right leg a little further backward there. If possible, put the top of your foot on the floor. Though if necessary, you can put the inner edge of the foot on the floor as said. Just go with the one that feels best for you. Now initially, rotate your torso over to your left-hand side there. Once your chest aligns with your knee, or you've gotten as close to that as possible, or lean over your leg very gently and slowly. I'm already feeling some stretch there, so if you are getting enough, I would stay in that position. Though if you want a deeper stretch, take your elbows down to the floor, right near either side of your knee. Make your back level-ish with the ceiling by rolling your right chest down. I personally like to keep my head lifted a little bit up, but if you like to lay your head down on your hands, that's a great thing to do. Let your shoulders slide toward your belt to make your neck feel just a little bit longer. And then just relax and breathe. Sometimes it's nice to spend a little time in silence, so this time I will just turn the pose over to you. Hold as you are, and I'll let you know when to move on. But throughout the entire time, just do your best to relax and focus on your breath. A natural rhythm, normal inhales and exhales. Use your body as an anchor. Whenever your mind wanders somewhere else, redirect to the sensation of the stretch. If you're able to shift to deep breaths, do that next. If you're breathing deeply, consider returning to normal breaths. Hold your breath out at the end of every exhale, and as you do that, relax mentally and physically. If you feel like you need to gasp or take a really huge breath after holding your breath out, it's a simple sign that you're holding out too long. Hold out until it becomes very slightly uncomfortable, and then take a normal inhale and exhale afterward. And that'll help you relax. For the final few moments of this posture, attempt to get even heavier still. It was a deep stretch, and it's not uncommon to be a little creaky afterwards, so come up nice and slow. Just in case your legs are falling asleep a little bit, extend both legs all the way forward toward the front of your mat. And take just a moment to rock side to side. Let your sitting bone and your pelvis lift off the floor on each respective side as you rock back and forth. And then give your legs a shake also. As they shake, it'll help them to wake up again. Okay, same one on the other side. Roll all the way over onto your right side and draw both feet back near your buttocks. Slide your right leg over to the right. Slide your left leg over to the side, either placing the top of your left foot on the floor or its innermost edge. And if your pelvis feels like it's sort of rolled under a little bit, roll your tailbone backward just a touch. Now finally, set the angles of your torso. Rotate your torso off to the right-hand side. We do a lot of stretching experience. This feels really nice to simply lean forward with relatively straight arms, so don't be shy or hesitant about that if you want to go with that option. If you like to take your elbows down to the floor, take them all the way down to the earth in a supportive way. Press your elbows into the ground very gently to slide your shoulders away from your ears towards your belt. Close your eyes, and as you settle in for this, the second side, let everything grow still. Sometimes it's really nice to have a break from overthinking. So as you continue focusing inside, let your thoughts be there like clouds floating through the sky, but just try not to interact. Instead, focus on the feature presentation of your body and your breath. Observe the stretch, observe your breathing, and just let your thoughts continue to come and go without interacting. Every time your mind wanders, redirect. Sometimes deepening your breathing patterns can be very helpful too. Long, slow inhales, long, slow exhales through your nose. That creates more sensation to focus on too. So just pay attention to the rising and falling of your body on the bubble of your breathing. Feel your ribs expanding as you breathe in, contracting toward your midline as you breathe out. And return to normal breathing patterns and pause at the end of every exhale. In those pauses, do your best to relax. And walk your hands all the way backward again to elevate yourself upright. Take a little bit to slowly unfurl your legs. Now, sometimes when you're in a pose for a longer period of time, the nerves in your legs get a little compressed, which is harmless, but it does lead to pins and needles and some tingling. So if that was happening to you, one of the easiest ways to deal with it is to rock from one side to the other side. Let your hips come completely off the floor as you rock back and forth. That'll help them wake up again. Sometimes just simple motion in your legs is very helpful too, so give them some shake. Now the next will be a hamstring stretch. So draw your right foot toward your left inner thigh. Now let your knee fall all the way out to the side. Lean forward a little bit. Imagine that your left leg were like a dresser drawer, and just pull your leg back toward your body like you're sliding the dresser drawer into a dresser. Now once you've done that, sit up relatively tall and make sure that your toes point straight upward in the air. Walk your hands down your shin toward the ankle itself. And at first, just maintain lots of spinal length. Now, you may well get a lot of stretch with your hand further back on the shin. It might take a little more forward lean for you to find it, so just keep leaning until you find a stretch that feels good for you. If you're able to grab the top of the foot, that's great because you can pull your toes back, which will intensify the stretch slightly. But I should mention that that's altogether unnecessary. You still get an amazing stretch even if your hand is on the shin. So don't force things at all. Just go with the one that's best for your body. Now today, though this can be done as a full forward fold, just keep your collarbones lifted so your spinal column is relatively long and straight. Anytime your arms are reaching forward like this, the tendency is to shrug your shoulders up, so let them glide down your back like soap bubbles in the shower. Close your eyes, focus all of your awareness inside. And imagine that you could sweep your breath like a paintbrush up and down the rearmost portion of your left leg. Draw your inhales from your heel. Imagine your breath flowing up the back of your leg to your sitting bone. And send your exhales from your left sitting bone down to your left heel. Draw your inhales from heel to sitting bone. Send your exhales from sitting bone to heel. And continue on for just a bit. The whole entire time, just maintain whatever spinal length you can. Next, maintain your forward lean there. Walk your hands back just a little further till your fingertips rest near either side of your ankles. Now experiment. Belly crunch down to the front and attempt to touch your elbows to the floor. If your elbows don't touch the floor, it's a much better option for you to keep your spine relatively long and straight with your arms outstretched. If your elbows will come to the floor, let your spine round very, very gently like a lens from a pair of sunglasses. Look down toward your legs so that the back of your neck feels long. Return to normal breathing, just get really, really heavy and maintain. If your toes start to splay out to the side, check into the foot and redirect your toes to the upright. And walk your hands all the way back to come out. Extend your legs forward. Really gently rotate your spinal column from one side to the other side. Then draw your left foot toward your right inner thigh and let your knee fall out. Start out by internally rotating your right leg so your big toe points upward. Now, the best way to find the placement that's going to work the best for you is to start with your hand pretty high up on your shin near your knee. Lift your chest like you're doing almost like a tiny, tiny back bend. And then start walking your hands forward toward the ankle itself with an upward lifted chest. Now, at some point, if your spine starts to round like a Halloween cat, that's an indication you've hit your stopping point. When that happens, just walk your hands a little further backward to reestablish your length. Though, if your body works toward it easily and effortlessly, you can always reach out there and grab your foot. For the next few moments, lift your collarbones ever higher. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Let your eyes close and return to painting. Every time you inhale, draw your breath from your heel up to your left sitting bone. And every time you exhale, send your breath from your sitting bone back down to your heel. Watch your breath washing up and down the back of your leg, sweeping tension away. Sometimes some of that tension actually will dissipate and go away. deepest breaths that you can draw. In many instances, it's the best to stay up there. If you know that you would like a deeper stretch, though, walk your hands a bit further back. It's easy to test whether or not you should go on. If, as you belly crunch down to the front, you can touch your elbows to the floor, then that's a safe place to be. If not, work towards straighter arms again. Check into your foot once more to make sure that your toes point straight up. And then again, just fold into it and breathe. When your mind wanders, redirect to the areas that are stretching. Just a little bit more time in that one there. Walk your hands back to come all the way back to the upright. Straighten your legs once you've done so. Rotate gently from one side to the other side. Now, sometimes it's nice to loop back to where you've been when stretching. So recline back there on your back, just as you did when we first began the class. Once you're laying down there, lift your feet off the floor. Take your hands to your knees and just roll your knees around in some big counterclockwise circles. It's a really nice way to massage out your lower back. Move your knees around in the other direction too. Now, if you'd like, you can modify the next posture by just dropping your knees over to the left-hand side like we did when we first started. Otherwise, reach your arms out to the sides with your palms up. Slide your hips way over to your right. Cross your right knee over top of left knee if they'll cross like that. And then slowly drop your knees to your left. If that doesn't work, just keep your knees together instead of crossed. This hold won't last quite as long as those ones previously done. For now, just relax and let the weight of your legs do the work. Use your next inhale to sweep your knees back up. Slide your hips way over to your lefts. Wrap your left knee over top of right. And then drop your knees over to the right-hand side. Use your next inhale to sweep your knees back up. Recenter your hips with the midline of your mat. And then find your way to the corpse pose, flat out on your back on the floor. You can keep your legs bent if you wish, or you can straighten your legs entirely. Let your arms be out from your sides a comfortable distance with your palms facing upwards into the air. Let's take the next few moments to settle into that posture there. So I grew up very close to the Yellowstone River, and I used to spend a lot of time on the waters. Whenever I was sitting next to the banks, I always liked to throw rocks in the water. Now, regardless of the type of rock that I was throwing, I found that they all made splashes. The pretty rocks splashed. The ugly rocks, maybe concrete or something like that, they still splashed in the same way, as did the little gray rocks that nobody really seemed to care about. All three varieties of rocks create ripples and waves in the water. Now, in some ways, your mind is like that in meditation. You too have three different varieties of thoughts that you will experience while lying there. You have somewhat boring neutral thoughts. You also probably have some really attractive thoughts based on things that you want. There are also, in every human mind, some negative thoughts and other different types of things that come up from negative experiences. Now, in your meditation practices, all three varieties of thoughts can create ripple effects in your mind that can disturb your meditation. So the goal in this particular practice is to just stop throwing rocks. Whenever a pleasant thought comes up, you just let it go. Whenever a negative thought pops up, you try not to hang on and you let it go. You do the same with neutral, boring thoughts as well. And after a little while, as you stop disturbing the waters of your mind by interacting with those three varieties of thoughts, your mind starts to calm down. Now, it's a process that takes a little while, but it's something you can definitely get down with some practice. So if you will, for now, just redirect awareness to your whole entire body. Let everything get really, really quiet. For the next few moments, imagine that your body were like a body of water filled with lots of ripples on the surface. As you grow quiet and still, imagine the ripples settling from the surface of the waters till there's not a single ripple left on the surface at all. Now, having something to concentrate on can very much help you calm your mind. So for the next few moments, redirect all of your awareness to your eyes. Focus on the raw sensation there. Or if you're more visual, visualize pinpoints of light in your eyes, like the light from stars. It's okay for your thoughts to be there, just try not to interact. Let them come and go like waves in water. And redirect all of your awareness next to your ears. Focus on the sensation in your earlobes, or pinpoints of light if that's your preference. As you focus there, let your thoughts come and go without interacting. Whenever you're tempted to interact with a thought, equivalent of dropping a rock into a pond, just refuse to and redirect to your ears. Shift awareness to your nostrils next. Sensation or pinpoints of light. Right cheek and left cheek. Sensation or light. Those visualization choices are the same every time. Upper lip and lower lip. Upper teeth and lower teeth. Middle of your throat. The tips of your shoulders. Elbows. Wrists. Palms of your hands. Tips of your fingers. Shift awareness to your hips. Kneecaps. Ankles. Bottoms of your feet. Tips of your toes. Right and left side of your body. Back of your body. Navel. Center chest. Tips of your shoulders. Back of your neck. And send awareness, like rays of light, from your heart to the palms of your hands. From your heart to the bottoms of your feet. From your heart to the base of the spine, and then again upward to the top of your head. Now, finally, the practice called Yoga Nidra, the yogi's sleep. Redirect all of your awareness to the space between your eyebrows. Visualize a pinpoint of light there. As you focus on that light, be aware of what it's like to be awake and to be experiencing all of this right now. My voice, your practice, everything that you feel, everything that you hear. And what it's like to be awake as you focus on that pinpoint of light. Next, shift awareness down to the middle of your throat. Visualize a small pinpoint of light there, like a star. As you focus on that light, imagine that all of this were a dream, vivid in nature. That you're wearing a dream body, surrounded by a dream room, having a dream experience. And finally, redirect awareness down to the middle of your chest. Visualize a pinpoint of light there, right at the middle of your chest. Now use your imagination and imagine that you could empty your mind into that light. Let all the contents of your mind be emptied into that pinpoint of light, just like a waterfall pouring into a great basin. But as all of your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings touch the light, just imagine them evaporating into empty space, like a mist dissolving into the air. Empty your thoughts, empty all of your emotions, empty all the feelings in your body into that pinpoint of light at the middle of your chest. And mentally hold that quiet, still space for as long as you can. And for the final few moments, just let your mind relax. Whenever you feel ready, let yourself roll over to one side. With your eyes still closed, come back to a seated and cross-legged posture of some type. Join your hands together in a prayer at your chest. Bring to mind the person you dedicated today's practice to. And consider either praying for or perhaps wishing for their happiness and health. Take a moment to be grateful for the gift of another day. And if you wish, repeat after me. May all sentient beings everywhere experience peace.